It's 1961. American planes fly low over Vietnam. They aren't dropping bombs. They're spraying a fine mist. Millions of gallons of chemicals designed to kill the jungle, to strip away the cover and expose the enemy. The military calls it Agent Orange. They say it's safe. Just a defoliant. Nothing to worry about. 50 years later, Vietnamese children are still being born with severe birth defects. American veterans are dying of cancer, and the company that made it, Monsanto, knew the whole time their chemical was poison. Let's go back. During the Vietnam War, the US military couldn't beat the jungle. It was too thick. The Viet Cong could hide, ambush, and vanish. So the Pentagon launched Operation Ranch Hand. The mission? Kill the trees, destroy the crops, starve the enemy out. They used a mix of two herbicides stored in barrels with orange stripes, Agent Orange. Between 1961 and 1971, they dumped 20 million gallons across Vietnam, destroying 6 million acres of forest. But here's the secret they kept. The manufacturing process created a byproduct, a contaminant called TCDD, a dioxin, one of the most toxic substances on Earth.
And it was in every single barrel they sprayed. Monsanto was a main manufacturer. Their own scientists found horrifying results in lab animals: cancer, birth defects, genetic damage. They told the military. The military said, keep making it. Dow Chemical, the other big producer, knew too, but the government contract was too profitable to stop. The first to get sick were the American soldiers who sprayed it, the ranch hand flight crews, soaked in the stuff every day. They developed rashes, severe acne, skin lesions that wouldn't heal. The military told them it was safe. Just wash it off. Soon, the ground troops noticed. The land was dead, sterile. Nothing grew back for years. And the Vietnamese civilians living there were getting sick. Then came the children, babies, born without limbs, without eyes, with exposed organs and deformed spines. The hospitals filled with children living with disabilities caused by a chemical the US promised was safe. The veterans came home. In their 30s and 40s, the cancer started. Prostate, lung, lymphoma, leukemia. Their own children were born with spina bifida and heart defects. They were dying young, and nobody knew why until they made the connection. Agent Orange.
In 1979, the veterans sued. 240,000 of them joined a class action lawsuit against Monsanto and Dow. The companies dragged it out for years, denying any link. In 1984, they settled for $180 million. That's about $750 per person. For cancer, for watching your children suffer, for a poison that would last for generations. Meanwhile, 3 million Vietnamese civilians had been directly exposed. When Vietnam sued in 2004, US courts dismissed the case. They said Agent Orange was a herbicide, not a poison. The Vietnamese got nothing. Monsanto never admitted fault, never apologized. The US military didn't acknowledge the link to disease until 1991, 20 years after they stopped spraying. Monsanto knew. The documents prove it. They knowingly poisoned millions of Vietnamese civilians and their own American soldiers and faced almost no consequences. This isn't just history. In Vietnam, the birth defects continue right now. Grandchildren of people exposed in the 60s are being born with severe disabilities. Agent Orange didn't just kill the jungle, it poisoned the land, the water, and the people for generations. And in Vietnam, the poison is still there.